spent 9 years in corporate America, and I hated it. I hated it. And I think the thing that got me, the single thing that got me, you remember it, Bobby, in St. Petersburg, we were at a convention, and Continental Investment Corporation, a real estate company in Boston, had bought Waddell & Reed, and they had gone through a real estate depression, and they were like Citigroup, you know, and they were taking Waddell & Reed's profits, and they were cutting our commissions and all that kind of crap, you know. And I kept telling the president of the company, I said, look, I'm a vice president, and I got to go explain this to my guys, and at least give me the courtesy, if you're going to cut our commissions or do something like that, tell me so I can prepare them, right? And so we're down at a convention in St. Petersburg, and Bob Butterworth, who I hated, was the assistant to the national sales director, calls me. He loved delivering me bad messages, you know. And he called and he says, Art, we just came out with our budget. There were 13 regions in Waddell & Reed. 3 years earlier when I started there, we were 13th place. 3 years later, we beat all the other 12 combined. But they came out with their budget and they said, okay, all the regions get to promote 2 people to division manager. That's like an RVP, you know, where they open an office and they pay the expense and all that kind of crap, you know. I had 19 guys and gals ready to be promoted. And I was going to have to wait another year. Can you imagine? And I told Butterworth, I said, Bob, you go tell Ben Korshaw to stick it where the sun don't shine. And he said, Art, you want me to tell him that? I said, you go tell him exactly that, okay? And I went home and I told Angela, I said, I'm getting out of Waddell & Reed. I might have to go back and coach, but if we can't start our own company, I'm never going to be in a company again where I've got guys, my buddies, my best buddies in life, like John Rourke, that earns a promotion. And I got to look him in the eye and got to say, you got to wait one more year. When we started A.L. Williams, I wanted this company to have no limits. So we had no limits on the money you could make, no limits on the promotions you can get, no limits on the territory. You can go anywhere, right? I wanted Bobby Buson and all these original guys to look at every person in A.L. Williams as an RVP. We talked about that. That's where you get to own your own business. If you come full time, you know the biggest surprise I had in my whole recruiting career is when I came to work at ITT, I was going to come see if I could hire part-time people. They didn't hire part-time people. I sold them on the idea of hiring part-time sales force, right? And I found out that 90% of the people hated their full-time job. I didn't hate my full-time job. I loved my full-time job. That blew me away, right? And so all of a sudden I had to change plans, right? And we had to create an incredible full-time opportunity. And so we created an opportunity with no limits, where you could come to work with us part-time, but if you wanted to, you could come full-time, you could become an RVP.
Another unique thing about A.L. Williams was we gave the new RVP the same contract as the promoting RVP. Now, almost every other company in the world out there in corporate America, they put a ceiling on people's heads out there, okay? And the people that get there first, they get the protected territory, and they always make more of an override, you know, and all this kind of crap, you know? Well, A.L. Williams came in and we said, we're going to give the new RVP the same contract as the promoting RVP. So if the new RVP produced more, he made more than the promoting RVP. See, we call that pass up, pass up. It's good for the promoting RVP because the more his downline RVPs do, is the more money he makes, okay? And it's good for the new RVP because if he produces more than the upline RVP, he can earn more money. This is back to A.L. Williams' promise to the sales force that we would never limit your opportunity. You can always do more, right? This was fulfilling one of our original promises we made to the sales force. The new RVP owns his own company. There are no junior RVPs. Every RVP has no limits. He can always do more. There's no limits. And let me give you a live example. Mike Hughes, an RVP, great RVP in Orlando, Florida, multi-millionaire, was earning $1 million a year, and he recruited a guy by the name of Mike Tuttle in Dallas, Texas. When Mike Hughes was making $1 million a year, Mike Tuttle eventually was earning $3.2 million a year. But Mike Hughes didn't regret Mike Tuttle, making more money than him, because the more he did, the more Mike Hughes made, right? And Mike Tuttle went on to produce 25 $1 million earners, right? So the promoting RVP has every incentive in the world for his new RVP to do a bunch, even do more than him, because the more he does, the more he's going to make. Warning, folks, no limits don't work without multiplication. That's one mistake, is they limit the building the teams, they limit the multiplication. And the no limits, all the money, that doesn't work. It has to work together. We promised everybody at A.O. Williams, every new recruit, we'll never limit your money. We'll never limit your people's money. But then you've got to understand this system, and you've got to simplify the system where you can transfer the system, right? We wanted to be multiplication. We wanted to go out and recruit people, unlimited number of people, and then help our people recruit people and build teams, and help those people recruit people and build teams. That's the way we changed an industry. See, there's two advantages in building a team. I sold this to every person at every fast start school. The advantage in having a team, overriding dozens and then hundreds and then thousands of people, is you build a secure income. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I wanted to build a secure income, and I wanted to build a big income with no limits. The last thing that happened to me at Waddell & Reed, I shared with you last night, is I was in St. Petersburg. You got to understand these moments that happen in your life, okay? I was hating corporate America more and more and more. And then all of a sudden, the last thing happened, and I had it. I was leaving. I had it. I didn't want no more part of them. I was willing to give up all my financial ambitions to go back in coaching if I had to, but I wasn't going to work with them no more, okay? When they called me and told me that all I could promote was 2 people, when I was expecting them to tell me I could promote 15 or 12 or 10 or 8. And they said 2, and I had 19 people that were hugging me and crying with me. And I was going to war with them. And I made promises to them. And I made commitments to them. And I couldn't deliver, and that tore me up. And that did it with me. And I said, we're going to build a company. We ain't giving you nothing but a tough time. Buddy, you're going to want to quit 10 million times, okay? But I want you to know I'm going to be there. And when you earn a promotion, I'm going to be there to give you a promotion. And when your people earn a promotion, then we're going to give them a promotion. And the one thing that it just killed me more than anything are these people that got different guidelines out there, and they create guidelines to hold people back for bonuses and crap. We weren't that way. We weren't perfect. We made tons of mistakes. But I'll tell you one thing we did that was good, is everybody was a team. We had one set of guidelines, and when we made a commitment, and if you did your part and you earned a promotion, if somebody held you back, I would fire their ass. And you could hardly get fired at A.O. Williams. You could hardly get fired, but every now and then somebody would do it. You had the right as an RVP to promote early. Like I said, sometimes I would lose a district manager and I'd promote 2 people to district just to prove to the team that I was going to promote people, okay? I'd lose an RVP. Sometimes I'd promote 2 people to an RVP that hadn't met the guidelines. I didn't do it all the time. I expected my people to meet the guidelines, okay? You got to have a system of no limits. Folks, do you understand how unbelievable it is that you look at everybody's an RVP, and you tell him, say, look, there is no limits to the money. Andy Young's payroll is $30 million a month right now. If Andy Young, right out of Wake Forest, tried to go to a bank and get a line of credit for those kind of money, the $30 million a month is $360 million a year. Now, can you imagine a bank doing something like that? Crap, no. That's what we do with everybody. We'll never limit your income. We'll never limit the income of any of your people. Is that unbelievable? You have the ability. You have the ability.
to go out and recruit as many people as you want and promise them you've got all the money in the world. Is that unbelievable? There is no limit. I promise you, there is no limit.